I'd like to talk a little bit about Act 51 that we established in 2018, which is the Youth Challenge Program. We see in this year's budget almost a 50% increase, but I think there's some federal dollars involved. Could you kind of explain the difference,
Yes, sir.
what we have between state
I'll give you a
and
brief
federal?
overview, and then I'll hand it over to Steve Radulski, our director, who we hired this past year. He's in charge of our Youth Challenge program. But essentially, you see the ask there, and most of the program now. So he's the only employee currently employed under that line item. Although we are undergoing interviews to start hiring staff, and most of the money at this point is going to construction. So we have a construction plan, we have the design in place, and we've started construction. And as we continue this road to starting our first class in about 2 years, most of the upfront money is going to be all construction, and then that's going to wane over this next 2 years, and the cost of staffing will increase over the next 2 years as we get the staff in place. And then essentially 2 years from now, what we're estimating is the state share to this is going to be about $2 million a year to maintain this program. The federal match, it's a 3-to-1 match. So the federal government is going to match $6 million against that. So it'll be an $8 million total program, of which state responsibility will be $2 in the out years. But what you're seeing now is the request, which is being federally matched 3 times that amount, and that's all the planned construction at this point.
Which is a pretty good benefit for us.
It's
I mean,
great.
when you're talking about a 3-to-1.
Yes, sir. I mean,
for this kind of program.
Normally our department would not be in an education program. But it's really very hard to pass up a 3-to-1 federal match, which is done through the National Guard Bureau nationally, and that's the way we were able to get this program to Pennsylvania through the National Guard. That's why it's the MVA.
Yeah, just kind of an overview maybe of the program,
Sure.
General, where you're at and what you'd like us to hear about how that program's getting kicked off and running would be helpful.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. So the program started back in 1993. There's over 40 programs in over 30 different states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico, and really geared towards the 16 to 18-year-old student who is not finding success in high school, potentially dropping out. And so the program is designed as a method by which to reclaim those lives and put them in a military-like environment for a 22-week period focused on 8 core components that range everything from academic success to physical fitness to how to deal with stress. And there are great benefits. We've had over 166,000 across the nation since 1993 that have gone through the program. And by coming out with a diploma or an equivalency degree, coming out of there, what you're going to get then is people who are young adults who are contributing members of society and either go back to their high school where they came from to complete their education or go in the military potentially or go into the workforce or college. And so really it's trying to get them back on the path. As a teacher of 22 years, I saw many students who it wasn't working for them. And so this is an alternative educational program that we've been in collaboration with Pennsylvania Department of Education to try to figure out what is the path forward to get the educational model established, and then in early 2022, open it up. But a lot of
how many, when we open it up in 2022, what the first class size, are you projecting?
Yes.
How many you think?
So right now, with the funding that we get and the renovations that we do to the buildings, we can go to a max capacity of 120 students per class. There's 2 classes per year, starting in January and then in July. So that would be 200 minimum the initial year, up to 240. We look to expand beyond that and go per class up to 150 or 160, probably by the summer of 2023. But that first year of a lesser class size enables us to work out all the challenges of establishing it, make sure things are going well, and then look to expand as more buildings come online and are renovated.
I think it's a great partnership to have with the Department of Education. I love the fact that we've been able to kind of parlay this into some pretty significant federal dollars for it, but I think this is a huge advantage for some of our students, and I know that first class, I mean, even at 120, I think that's a great number to start with because I know we're going to want to continue to see that grow. So thank you, everybody,
Yes,
for that update on that program. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.